Welcome everybody, hoping you all are doing well. Once again, welcoming you in the channel of Learn with Amina. And today I have brought for you another interesting topic, and that is really a time need. So, I want to ask you a question before you start anything with me today. Do you feel shy? Do you want to gain confidence in English? So, I'm going to talk to you about this issue today. If you are a shy person, you are unable to gain confidence, I am going to boost your confidence. So, let's start today's video. As I used to be one of those language learners who was too shy to speak around the other people once, just like you are. When I first started learning English, I never practiced with any native or any of my friends. Although I was afraid that I was going to make mistake and look foolish, as most of the people think. And what I did look foolish a couple of times. Like when I tried to tell the taxi driver or my anybody else around something in English, it was haphazard always. It wasn't until I moved from my own place to somebody or some environment where people used to speak in English. So, what I learned, it's okay to make mistakes. This is the key thing that you need to learn whenever you want to learn English language. So, if you understand this one sentence and one phrase, you will just quickly learn into English language. So, before I start, I want to say you be okay with making mistakes. Now, very few people there who speak English. I had to use what like other people use. I had to try and understand. So, what happened over the time? My speaking, listening, and grammatical skills got better, and I was forced into countless situations where I had to use this language. So today I will be sharing with you no more hirings are there if you are finding a job. Let's increase your confidence with my 6 super tips. We all feel self conscious when we shouldn't. Do you know it? I would be lying if I say that there weren't any embarrassing moments in English learning when I learned it to make it perfect. So I learned that most of the people usually have a quick laugh and they move on. But people, on the other hand, also helped me. More importantly, I found that there is nothing in English learning to get afraid of. The truth is that the people who don't want to make you feel foolish when you make silly mistakes, someone who keep going on saying you have done well, you can do more well than it, undoubtedly you will improve. You're like me, as I told you, being forced to speak a foreign language in front of your people around the area. So the problem is feeling stressed. This is the problem of our society. So it's difficult to think quickly and clearly, which makes you more likely to make mistakes in English learning. So it's a negative cycle. What we have to do, we have to increase our confidence and we have to move on in a better way. So before I start today's 6 super tips of mine, I'm going to say you that you should listen carefully and be a confident learner after this video. You have probably heard that saying practice makes a man perfect. The best way to boost your English confidence is to get comfortable using the language. So you do that. You need to practice often. And here I'm going to give you 6 super tips that will actually be positive learning for you and that will also low down your stress. So tip number 1. Super tip number 1 is use WhatsApp. I know most of you are doing it. If you have friends, classmates, or who are learning English with you, so you can start a WhatsApp group together. You can text and send voice notes in English language so that people don't make fun of you and you start learning. So basically, WhatsApp is great because it let you practice conversations whenever you are ready, wherever you are. So don't have to actually worry. In the middle of the discussion, you can even feel not sending any message if you feel like. My super tip number 2 is practice with telemarketers. Now, do you ever get those phone calls from random people trying to sell you something over the telephone? Any market shop? Nobody likes being annoyed by the telemarketers. But if you're going to talk with them on the phone, you might be good at practice English with them. Talk with them and ask them the questions until you get bored of that call. So the best part is that they are trying to sell you something, so they basically have to politely listen to you and they won't make fun of you if you make even mistakes. So third super tip is learn the lyrics of your favorite songs. If you are a music lover, you would definitely apply this tip. Practice singing along with the lyrics of your favorite songs as you feel comfortable with the rhythm and the pronunciation of English. Of course, you won't be singing when you hold conversation with your English speaking friends. So, what you will be doing, this will help you to learn English more naturally and fluently. So number four is that you are going to adopt. Super tip number 4, read aloud. We already know that reading book is a great way to learn a new language. But if you aren't reading out loud, you aren't not maximizing your study time. So next time you're reading a good English novel at home, be sure to practice reading paragraphs aloud. It will make you become accustomed to actually speaking English, and after a while you will be comfortable in speaking English as a language. Super tip number 5 is don't depend on your first language. Let's face it, if you're probably not going to become comfortable speaking English if you are always switching back to your native language Urdu, and every time you come across a difficult word that doesn't make you sense, the reason is that I learned how to speak English. So well, it was that I was forced to work with the vocabulary and nothing was understood. So unless you're in a situation, it's absolutely important to be understood. Just like opening a bank account or a doctor's appointment, you should step out to make your comfort zone in English, wherever you are possible to do. Last tip of the day, that is learn English naturally. Really very important. Native English speakers don't learn how to speak English through textbooks. Do you know why? Because it's not easy to just go through one text and learn the language. Neither you should do it. The natural approach of learning English requires you to get into the world, make mistakes, and put your English knowledge into trouble. Overthinking in grammatical rules and pronunciation. Besides, what happens? Most English speakers love a good accent, even if they aren't a good speaker or a good accent person. If you want to discover more about learning English, you can see my other videos on my channel, and you should remember one thing that I'm going to tell you in the last of my video. At the end of the thing, I want to say that English is just a language that we use to communicate with each other. As long as you can make yourself understand, you're off to a very good start. Don't let your English studies be the source of your stress. And if you slip up, don't worry. Everyone makes mistakes, and learning to accept those mistakes will gain you confidence. Hopefully, this video has brought something amazing in your life, and from now onwards, you're not going to be any more shy person, and you are going to be a confident speaker. So keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep liking my channel. This is Learn with Amina. Take care. Bye-bye.